I really break down the EB2 NIW in two different sort of main requirements. There is a black and white, very objective requirements, which is the academic and the professional background requirements of the individual. And then the second requirements are very much more gray, much more subjective, which is with regards to demonstrating and arguing the national interest of having this individual in the United States. So with regards to the first ones, the black and white, we're going to talk about what exactly those requirements are. So starting with those more objective requirements, which have everything to do with the individual's academic and professional qualifications. So we have to demonstrate, we have to prove to USCIS the individual has what is called an advanced degree and or is an individual of exceptional abilities. An advanced degree is an individual that has either a master's, a bachelor, and a master's degree in a specific field of work or a specific field of study, and or an individual that has a bachelor's degree and at least 5 years of experience working in that specific field. Now, notice that the category here, even though there is, technically speaking, a preference towards your STEMs, your engineers, your doctors, your scientists, but the letter of the law doesn't necessarily limit the types of degrees and the types of academic requirement or academic background the individual can have. And many of our clients, particularly in the EB2 National Interest Waiver category, that are investing as entrepreneurs and investors, many of them, they have business degrees, they have legal degrees, they have marketing degrees, and so on and so forth. So it really does allow for people with various types of degrees, really no limitation on the types of degrees, in order to come to the United States and apply for this category. Likewise, if the individual has a bachelor and a master's degree, that is almost an automatic qualification into the advanced degree requirement. If the individual doesn't have a master's degree, but he's able to prove at least 5 years of professional experience after a bachelor's degree, that is also another way that he can qualify or meet the requirements of an advanced degree professional. Nevertheless, though, this is again, like I said, a very flexible category. So there's also a way for individuals that don't have any type of academic degree to nevertheless meet some of these requirements. And that is by trying to qualify the individual as having exceptional ability. In order to demonstrate an individual has exceptional ability, we need to provide evidence that the individual has at least 3 of these 6 criteria. So as you can see, the very first one is some type of a degree. Doesn't have to be a bachelor, doesn't have to be a master's. It can be an associate's degree, it can be a technical degree, it can be a certificate. It just has to be some type of degree from an academic institution. Another way, in addition to those, these are ands, right? But we need to just argue 3 of them. We don't have to argue all of them. Letters, instead of talking about 5 years of professional experience, in order to qualify somebody in the exceptionability category, we will need to demonstrate the individual has at least 10 years of experience in this field of work. Another way to do this is also by demonstrating that the individual has a license to practice his profession in his home country. One other evidence is regarding the individual's compensation over the years in his field of work in his home country. And if that compensation is what is considered higher than the average, that is evidence then obviously that this individual has distinguished himself, has outdone himself. Another way as well of demonstrating that this individual has exceptional ability is by membership in professional associations. So I'll give an example. I myself am a longstanding member of the American Immigration Lawyers Association, which is AILA. There's 100 different associations for 100 different professions, both in the U.S. and abroad. But membership in some of these associations can also be used as evidence that the individual is distinguished and is recognized in their field of work. And finally, to even use some of these words, recognition for achievements, such as awards, prizes, coverage in the media, letters of recommendation, and so on and so forth from peers and supervisors and so on and so forth. That also solidifies the individual as having not only some, but a level of recognition and accomplishment that will then be used to argue that the individual is qualified and able to provide this national benefit to the United States.